don't even need to say who I am, what I am. This is just whatever kind of laid back discussion that I'm having today. That I'm having today with Trevor and with Michaela. We're here at the Peace Center, and we're just going to just free flow and see what needs to be discussed about how people are feeling. How do we think our young people? Because at one time you were young, you were younger, I was young, and we all realize that we all have feelings and that we all need somebody to talk to relieve the things that go on in our lives so that we don't get in trouble. Because even in our lives, we've all got things in our lives that we've done that we're not proud of. And some of it came from rebellion because our parents wouldn't let us do it, or they were too afraid, or they were trying, it appeared that they were trying to keep us from enjoying ourselves and what have you. Some of it come from you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that because our parents didn't have time to spend time with us. We didn't have that family time like on Blue Bloods on TV. When they come to dinner on Sundays, the family is all together. They get to discuss that. How many young kids today or young people can say today that they have family time where they actually sit down for dinner and be able to discuss and laugh and talk about what's going on? And most of our young people, this is what they're looking for. They just want a little love. They just want to be heard every now and then. Their feelings to be considered. And again, I say so that they can actually know how to really live their lives. You know, because everybody wants to be a doctor, a lawyer. They want their own business. They want their own careers. But you got to know how to do it. And it's a blessing when you can say that you had both your parents and they were talking to you. You had family time. You know, that's a complete family. You know, where the father's involved, the mother's involved. We're sitting at the table, you know, and we're enjoying one another. How was your day today, dear? Well, how was your day today, Trevor, at school? How was everything with you, Michaela? You know, did everything go well for you? These are the type of things. And then when they ask the question, they allow you time to do what? Yes, to be able to tell you how their day went, how things went at school, who was bullying you, who pulled your hair, you know, who threw a spitball at you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now that I had all of that to say, let's see how Trevor feels about, you know, what I've been talking about. Being able to share freely, you know, some of the things, you know, either according to experiences with yourself or with your friends.
Well, I guess one thing I can definitely look at is, like, I had a really, you know, good family construct as a child. Like, I had, as you were saying, you know, like, the whole family experience.
Okay.
Now, I have an older brother, Chad, kind of a douche, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Okay.
But, it's true. But, yeah, we always had, you know, we had family dinners at least 4 times a week. You know, we always had our Sunday family dinner every week.
Okay.
My grandpa actually retired and then started working for my dad, so I see him every time I go to my dad's office.
Okay. Okay.
Like, my mom works a lot, but she, you know, we always had our family time and everything, and it was always really nice to be able to go home and know that that was part of my schedule. You know, sometime between 6 and 7, I'll be meeting up. You know, everybody will be meeting up together, and we talk about things.
Okay.
And I definitely think that it's necessary to allow not just kids, but allow the adults even to vent to the kids about their lives, because it's not just the kids that are having, you know, bullying issues. You know, people have bosses, people have people that are above them, people have people that are constantly telling them what they can and cannot do. I mean, it's different, obviously, because it's not your child that you're talking about. You know, your child's not saying, you know, this person did this to me, and how should I do, you know, what should I do about that, or how should I be feeling about this? It's the adult saying, I don't know how to feel about this, so I'm going to talk to my family about it, because everybody needs someone to talk to.
Yes, yes.
And in my opinion, I mean, I work at a hospital, and there are a lot of situations that come in, you know, I work at Beaumont, and we see, you know, just the other day, I'm not going to go into details, but there was a domestic violence situation, and the boyfriend kept trying to get past security and come back in and tell, you know, he was telling the woman what she could and couldn't say. I guess they were in the waiting room, and he hit her in the waiting room while he was there taking her, because he had already hit her. And he was like, they were arguing, like, according to security, they were arguing, and he was like, well, like, don't tell them this, tell them this, like, this is what you can and cannot say, and like those kind of things. You see really how bad things can get if you don't say something to someone at some point.
Yes.
You know, if she, you know, if she had someone to talk to about the situation, if she didn't feel like there was nobody to talk to because she didn't have the experience of, you know, a family, of somebody to talk to, things can just kind of spiral out of control, and you get to a certain point where you're not able to vent to anyone or talk to anyone about things because you never had the experience of knowing that you can, and knowing that you're not going to face some kind of repercussion just for saying what's on your mouth.
And you're right about that. You're right about that. And we're dealing with so much domestic violence, not just between husband and wives, but boyfriend, girlfriend, significant others, as they're calling, you know, today. We just got so much violence in every aspect, not just with our children, with the shooting, but it saddens my heart for folks that are going through the domestic violence when...
Especially since it's not just the physical violence that is, I mean, a lot of times it's not the physical violence that's the worst part, it's the psychological manipulation and the psychological violence that actually makes it much worse situation, because it tells the person that they can't even talk about the physical violence, and that keeps bubbling up, like you're saying, like a teapot. Like, I can't say anything, and then it gets worse, and then they can't say anything, and then, you know, the psychological part of it actually, I think, does more damage sometimes than the physical does.
And it does, because the psychological part sticks with you more. It comes back more. Something physical you can get over. It's just like a child being whipped. You know, you can soon get over the whippings, but when your parents or someone starts talking to you and start verbally saying things to you, it does more damage to you, to call you dumb, stupid, ignorant, you know better than, you know, comparing you to others. You know, those things stick with us, and it carries on over a period of years, because somewhere else, somebody else is saying. But the part that you're talking about, it repeats itself over and over again in your mind.
The bruise will heal, but the scar will not fade.
Yes. So, and that's what's going on with a lot of our children. They're seeing a lot of this. They're feeling a lot of this themselves, are being abused as well, physically, mentally, emotionally, going through the traumas of not knowing who they can turn to, who they can talk to. In the schools, when children come together, they try and find a friend that they can talk to, you understand? And they'll find out that when they start talking to their friends, the next thing they know, now their friend done went and told another friend, and another friend, and then the next thing you know, it's on social media. Now this thing has spiraled all out of control. Now this child's feeling bad, because now this child is being picked up on and talked about. And same thing with domestic violence. If this woman, and it's not just always women, it could be the men as well, they go and tell somebody start telling somebody else. Now there's nothing sacred, you understand? And now people start doing what? Closing up, not talking to anybody, because now, who do I trust? Who do I trust, and who's going to help me? You know, and a lot of times, if we can just find somebody that we can trust, we can help ourselves, because a lot of the answers are within ourselves. And a lot of people, and it's kind of sad to say that so many people feel that if they came up out of a bad situation from home and then they get into one, they feel that that's a natural, that's the norm, you know, we're to follow that. See, so sometimes people don't even have anybody in their family that they can go back and talk to about it. And this is really important that we find somebody, and we need to find early prevention for our children. And I'm serious. We need to really find an early prevention if there's going to be any peace. If people are going to know even how to have peace, you have to begin to demonstrate. You have to begin to teach. You have to begin to show them how to find peace.